Manchester United is used to overpaying. It's not the
Should be normal thing to
when we are
Manchester
paying
United
100 million for Anthony, and there's no Premier League team that has not overpaid for one player.
Yeah.
Arsenal overpaid for Declan Rice. Declan Rice is not worth 100 million. For point of correction, it's not worth 100 million. Man City overpaid for Jack Grealish. It's not 100 million worth. Chelsea overpaid for Enzo, overpaid for Caicedo. It's not 100 million worth.
What's happening, friends? Welcome to another edition of Transfer World powered by Vertical Football. And today we want to talk about transfer window, all about Manchester United, everything they have done on the transfer window. So I have one of the most exciting Manchester United fan here, the person of Segun. Segun, how are you doing?
It's good to be here. Great to be here. Looking forward to the discussion.
I can see the excitement.
Yeah, so
I can see the excitement. And I just want to ask you, how are you feeling? For the first time in a long while, you are coming in with new signing earlier than ever. July signing. What do you think about that?
We are so much happy about that. Looking at the mediocrity of the Glazers for years, mediocrity of the likes of Woodward, Arnold, John Morton. There has been mediocrity so much that we Manchester United fans have even come to believe that it's very hard to sign players. But now we are seeing that we are signing player within a space of 3 days.
Wow.
You see something that maybe on Wednesday, you hear Leny Yoro is about to go to Real Madrid. That is moving towards Real Madrid. That afternoon, you are hearing Real Madrid. On in the evening, you hear Real Madrid. On Thursday morning, you just hear he has accepted Manchester United offer. Is already in England. Before you know it, that evening, medical done. The next morning, he has been signed. Before you know it, 2 days later, he has played for Manchester United. So I think it's just amazing, and I think everything boils down to the leadership. New leadership, new things. So we are very, very excited. Really.
I just want to ask you one more question, and the other question is, how do you rate from 1 to 10 right now? How are you going to rate the new leadership?
I think so far I want to give them a 6 because there's still much work to be done, really.
Okay.
Because even the outgoings that we have had are outgoings that we expected. The likes of Van der Beek, we expected Van der Beek to go. The likes of
Anthony Martial,
free transfer, Varane, free transfer has gone. The likes of Greenwood, I expected because of the political issue he has, so he has gone.
What about Kambala?
Is still a youngster, so we need for us to rate them higher. We need the likes of Casemiro to leave. We need the likes of Lindelof to leave. We need the likes of Sancho to leave if they decide to let Sancho go. So we need those big players to leave and let us see the wage at which those guys go for before we can rate them higher.
Wow, awesome time with Manchester United. Right now, we want to talk about the new signings. Let's start with our Nigeria guy, and his name is Joshua Orobo Zirkzee. And I just want to ask you, what do you think about that signing? Because I wasn't expecting it. Out of the blues, they came out and said, okay, we are going for this guy, and they get him. So what do you think about this signing?
Yeah, I think it's a very good signing. I think it's all about Ten Hag wanting different profile of players in his team in order to be able to be equipped enough to face different opponents. So you will see one of the things Ten Hag enjoyed in the first season was the fact that he had someone like Anthony Martial. Anthony Martial is not necessarily a traditional 9.
Okay.
So it's someone that can play in a kind of, it's a winger, but a striker. It's someone that can play outside of the box. Okay. And he had someone like Weghorst. Weghorst is like kind of like, because of his height, kind of like a proper box 18 striker. Yeah. So even though we knew at some point in Manchester United they play as a 10. So Ten Hag always wants a striker that can play what they call it, it's a traditional 9, and someone that can play like a winger. Even when he was in Ajax, you saw the likes of Sebastian Haller as a traditional 9, but you saw Brian Brobry that can still be like someone that can operate outside in a way. Yeah. So I think he wants to have that tactical variability of profiles. So that's why I decided to bring in Zirkzee to add to Rasmus Højlund. So Rasmus Højlund is like traditional 9, while Zirkzee is like the 9.5. It's not necessarily a traditional 9, and he can also play as a 10. So a mixture of both. That's 9.5.
Well, really, we have been seeing on Twitter, especially on our handle. If you are not on our Twitter and if you have not followed us, on Twitter, is Vertical Football Podcast. Yeah. Now, I just want to know, because I've seen a lot of people saying that Manchester United went for the wrong profile of player in Zirkzee, because they felt that they should bring top-notch striker like Ivan Toney, and maybe a player like Haaland something like that. What do you think? Is it that Manchester United is going for young people for the future, or is it that they just want to try something new? Because people are saying that Manchester need a killer striker, a striker that can execute, and both of them are of the same profile. He scored 11 goals in Bologna, right? And almost the same thing this guy did last season. Rasmus Holland. That means you are bringing two players that can just score 11 goals. What do you think about the two
I think
players?
it's not necessarily about the number of goals they score. You definitely, when you buy someone like Zirkzee, when you buy someone like Højlund, you are buying potentials. You are buying the players that they can actually become. And so when you look at Rasmus could have scored more than that last season if he was given enough service. So it's not really about the number of goals. It's about creating a team where they can be well serviced enough in order to score. But looking at what you said in terms of the profile, people are saying, why don't you go for Anthony? Every top team in the world has two different strikers of different profiles. That's the reason why you have a squad. When you look at Man City, the profile of Haaland is different from the profile of Alvarez. Haaland is more traditional. Alvarez can do more outside things. The profile of, maybe, for example, if you use Gakpo as a first line or as a striker in Liverpool, is different from what a Darwin Núñez will give you. So you need that variability. That's the essence of having a squad. It's not having if you have a squad where it's a like for like, it just be a problem.
But do you think they have this killer instinct? Because right now, a lot of Manchester United fans are excited, but they're back in their mind, in the back of their mind, they are asking questions like, we need someone like Harry Kane, instinctive striker that can score out of half chances. And I don't think both of them have that.
Definitely you have to go for what your money can buy. That's just reality. And looking at it, the likes of Harry Kane, the top strikers of the world, the likes of Victor Osimhen, are going to cost you a lot. Manchester United does not have that money. So what you have to do is you have to go for young promising strikers, and I think those two guys are young promising strikers. But for Rasmus Højlund, looking at what we've seen already from last season, is a player that if he's serviced very well by the wingers, by the midfielders, if he's giving service very well. I think there was a statistics we looked at when one of the episodes on this show, where we saw that the highest person that passed to Rasmus Højlund in that season was Andre Onana. So you say if your goalkeeper is the only one giving. So you need the likes of Bruno, the likes of Garnacho, the likes of Ahmad coming in and assist, the likes of Sancho coming in and assisting him. I think he will score goals. So also for Zirkzee, I know Zirkzee might not necessarily be that prolific because of the kind of his profile. He might not necessarily, it's like a kind of Firmino-like player. He might not necessarily have the high number of goals, but you can see his contributions to attacks, and maybe 1 or 2 games he can give us good chances and score some goals for us. And
if you want to know more about Zirkzee, I think we have a video. We do player profile right now. Every player profile you want us to do, just put it on our top, just comment it. And Joshua Zirkzee video, fantastic one, fine player, and it reminds me of this Ronaldinho movement. It may not be samba, but at least
there's a little bit of that tricky.
So awesome signing for Manchester United. And also we want to talk about someone else, because that of Yoro, you said it earlier, that it was everybody, including other fans, said it's not possible. And I was told that it is not only Manchester United and Real Madrid, race. There was even Liverpool, PSG on that same player. On that same player, Yoro. I'm asking this question really now, is that, do you think that Manchester United did a great work by bringing Yoro in with the exorbitant amount of money they have spent? I'm hearing that the total should be 75 million euros thereabout, but I'm asking, is that not too much of a price for a young player?
I think also Manchester United and other fans should remember that some years ago, when Alex Ferguson was team manager, we had the opportunity of scouting a very young, promising French defender in person of Raphael Varane.
Yeah, I remember that.
And when we did not decide to overspend, we missed out on him. Because, see, there's a difference between when you are going for a player and you have other clubs like maybe Arsenal, Chelsea, going for that player. And there's a difference when you are going for a player that Madrid also wants that player. First of all, there's any player that Madrid is going for should show you that player is a great player. It's already, when Madrid is going for a player, you know that player is a great player. So you know that the only way you can get a player, to be very, very frank, the only way you can get a player to come to your club when Madrid is also asking for that player is to overpay. Or let me not let me not use overpay, to pay, just pay. Because we know that Madrid now, with due respect to them, the new strategy they want to be using now is that they don't want to be paying the full amount money.
Yeah.
They want what they call it. They want those players to finish their contract and get them on the free.
Yeah.
And if you want a player like Leny Yoro, you have to pay an amount that you know Madrid will not be willing to want to pay. And I think that's what Manchester United did. Yeah, you might say the money is smart for 18-year-old.
He has 1 year contract on his deal.
You might say that, but it's someone that they said the Madrid scouting team referred to him as the Kylian Mbappe of defenders.
Wow.
So already you can see is that so it's better you just pay. It's better you just pay. If you really want him, you pay. And I think other fans that are not happy about Manchester United getting him, it's not as if at the back of their mind, it's not as if it's the money that is the issue.
Okay.
It's because their club did not get the player. So that's just the reality. That's just the reality. If it's their club that got the player, because you see, whatever you pay for a player is irrelevant if the player delivers. If the guy in the next 3, 4, 5 years delivers and is one of the top defenders of the world, nobody will remember Rio Ferdinand came with 50 million at that time.
Almost 30 to 50 million. There is 30 million pounds. Yeah.
Yeah, top big amount of money. But at the end of everything, it worked out well.
Yeah.
Nobody remembers Rio Ferdinand's transfer fee. All that people remember he's a Manchester United legend, a player that was ahead of his time, good ball player. So I think Leny Yoro is all that, and it's great that we got him. And let me also add, and that player that Manchester United missed out of because we're not willing to pay. We're not going to pay. Was Eden Hazard.
Awesome.
We didn't want to pay the agent fee, and he ended up going to Chelsea. Imagine if Hazard was a Manchester United player under Sir Alex Ferguson.
Interesting.
You know what could have happened. So at this moment, I'm not even about Manchester United is used to overpaying. It's not the
should be normal.
When we are paying 100 million for Anthony, and there's no Premier League team that has not overpaid for one player.
Yeah.
Arsenal overpaid for Declan Rice. Declan Rice is not worth 100 million. For point of correction, it's not worth 100 million. Man City overpaid for Jack Grealish. It's not 100 million worth. Chelsea overpaid for Enzo, overpaid for Caicedo, is not 100 million worth. What do you call it? What that club against? The Liverpool of
Madrid overpaid for
Tchouaméni, and Tchouaméni hardly is not even starting their important games. So the reality is that every club in football right now overpays for one player or the other. So it's not a big deal if you overpay. The most important thing is that let the overpaying pay off. So that's it.
Okay, I'm just wondering, is it a good risk? Having Euro in at that
for me,
money, is it a good risk?
Having a player that Madrid wants, it's a good risk.
So it means that you are sending out a statement that we are here to stay and we are back.
Yeah, we know Premier League can be tough. We know that playing for Manchester United again is an added pressure.
Yeah.
But that guy, even looking at the first 45 minutes he played, having the highest touches in that whole game from a player, 51 touches. For a defender,
45 minutes,
45 minutes,
touches. Wow.
51 touches, and those touches were composed forward, progressive. Because look at our defenders. Our defenders, apart from the likes of Martinez and maybe Varane, when Varane was still with us, our defenders are not confident on the ball to make those progressive passes. And in top football, you want players that can play that piercing pass, players that can play that forward progressive pass, and that guy does it with so much. You see the switch of play passes, the long passes, or the short one that are very fast. Is the player that he doesn't waste time on the ball. You give him the ball, he looks to progress the ball fast, and also he knows when to take a risk and not. Based on the 45 minutes we've watched, actually, there are some moments where he could have taken a risk, but like, oh no, this trick might not work out. Before you know it, he passed it back to Andre Onana. So I think it's a good addition to Manchester United.